I can't believe it. There's actually more stuff coming out about Hana Kimura. So, this video, I'm leaving the video right here so you can look at it. Wrestling Soup is a channel that likes to poke a lot of fun with everything. They have a little bit of truth in what they say, but more often than not, they're kind of like brashish about races and people, things like that. They're kind of over the top. And more often than not, I don't listen to their podcasts, even though they're on my favorites. But I don't listen to them. I listen to the Bully Ray one and the Solid Monster one, the New Day one, etc., etc. You'll see right here. New Day, Solid Monster, and Busted Open. I look at that all the time. But this was really good because of Hana Kimura. Now, if you listen to the guy,
it's pretty.
Yeah, I'll watch
pretty
it.
Fun.
But yeah, the Thanksgiving dinner one is amazing because
that guy, the one who said Thanksgiving was amazing, that guy. I don't know what he looks like. I can only go by the sound of his voice, but he is half Japanese, like Hana Kimura. He's half Japanese and half Belgian. I didn't know that. I couldn't hear an accent at all when he speaks. Him and his co-hosts like to make fun of people in the way they talk and whatever, but when he was speaking about Hana Kimura, he was speaking from a place of familiarity. He knew a lot about being half in Japan, and even like online being half. There's a lot of controversial things he says in here, which I can't queue up, but yeah. See this part right up here to the top of the screen. Hana Kimura was Hafu, cyberbullying, and then every news site is wrong. Yeah, like everything underneath that, all that stuff, that's 100% correct. Now, I was listening to what he had to say, and I know about the half situation because a friend of mine is black and his wife is Japanese. He has 2 kids and they're both Hafus. So he tells me all about their trials and tribulations. So I know from a fact that that can be an issue. By the sound of this guy, you wouldn't think this guy knows anything more about any other country than just America. But he knows. He definitely knows. He knows not just about being Hafu, he knows about the culture, traditions, and things like that. The history, he knows about that too. Stuff I know, he knows. I'm like, okay, this guy knows the real deal. So, no one's talking about this. This podcast should be listened to. I don't know if it'll reach anybody, but the thing that he says in here, the main thing he says in here, before I go too long with this, is that Hana Kimura being a Hafu is basically like a death sentence over there. It's such a big deal that you have to keep it a secret. If you look like you're Hafu, you're going to be put in entertainment purposes only. You can't have real behind-the-scenes jobs. You must be entertainment only, essentially. And essentially, they treat you like you're a sideshow, per se. If you want to do more in life, you can't. In Japan, you can only be a Hafu. And that term comes from the 30s. Yes, the 1930s. I know we're in 2020 now. Yeah, the 1930s. That term they tried to kill it in the 80s, like late 80s, but it didn't work out. It was a stupid name that they wanted to do it. So before this video gets too long, essentially, yes, her being a Hafu is shunned to Japan. It's basically said to someone if they don't like you in a very deep way, because they know you can't change who you are, so they call you Hafu. It's N-word stuff there. It's S-word for Spanish people. It's C-word for Chinese people. It's bad shit. It's bad. So yes, even Japan has their own little sly way of making fun of certain people that they don't like. Why that's the case? Who really knows? But the point is, because you were born that way, you're essentially shunned in society. You can talk like us, you can act like us, but you will never be us. Kind of sound familiar over here for Americans, right? So yeah, this podcast, that whole thing he does for Hana Kimura is very detailed, very long. So you have to experience this for yourself to fully understand what she might have been going through in her head at that time. Yes, like I know stuff was in her system at the time. Who knows what was really going on before she allegedly slit her wrist. So the final thing I'll say here is that there's a person that comes on at the end of this one as well. I forgot his name because he's like a fan or whatever. But he came on at the very end of this. And he said that Hana Kimura herself, she accidentally left her important gear in the washer. And then someone else put the stuff in there without taking anything out. The question, of course, now is, how or why would Hana Kimura leave something that important in a public space like that? If it's that important, it should have been with you. Now, I personally am guilty of, it only happened once, I leaving like a really personal item in public, and it was gone within like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It was gone. Someone took it. Couldn't find out who it was, obviously, because it's reality. So, I know about this kind of stuff. So it does happen. But in my situation, I was in a different state of mind. So, yes. Why or how did Hana Kimura leave that thing in there? That's suspect. And I wonder, now that I think about it, I wonder if someone saw that and decided not to remove it from the wash. I wonder if somebody saw that and didn't do that and didn't take it out. That's my question. This whole thing seems like a damn murder mystery movie. Holy sh...